Hare Krishna, hello, and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Bubbly. And my name is Bubbly. So this is the officially very first video of my YouTube channel, The Bookish Bubbly, which I'm posting in January 2025, and I'm curious about it. So if you are here, then you are probably a reader or the one which you are just curious to know about this book. Either way, you are in a right place. Have you ever wondered that why some people climb the ladder of success without so much of effort while other people work at as twice as them? What makes the difference between a rich person and a poor person? And it's a luck, it's a privilege, or it's something entirely different. So let's grab your drink and let's talk about the most talked book of all the time, that is The Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So before reviewing this book, let me give you a slight personal story that how this book is touched to myself and why did I chose this book to review on my first YouTube video channel. This book changed me and made me a reader to from where I was not a reader who never used to book a read even one, or after reading this book that made me a curiosity and make me a reader to read 20 more than 20 books a year, which I read in 2024. So firstly I was about to make that video first of 24, that the books which I did in 24, but I didn't do that and chose this book because this has a very personal story touched to myself. So it was 2020, I guess, yes, when it was corona and I was in class 9. Okay, and my brother gave me this book to read it, not in a hand to read in the first go, but before that he told me two to three famous lines and the mindset about from this book, and the idea of concept just touched my heart, and that made me curious and eager to read this book. And I was just in class 9 and I couldn't read it because I was not a reader, and just to finish this book it took me a long time as I was not a reader. But this was something that changed my mind forever, the perspective to see money from the eyes of an ordinary person. And it made me believe that yeah, really, we are never taught the thing which Robert Kiyosaki has taught in this book and has taught more than millions and millions of people around the world, which are not taught in the school. After reading this book only, I've got the curiosity to read more and more of self-help books, non-fiction, fictional, mythology, and a lot more from a lot of genres. So now let's start with this book. Is that a story which you can't ignore? The two dad, the two realities. Imagine that you are a kid and grown in a Hawaii, a paradise, and you have two father. Okay, the one who tells you about to study, to work hard, to earn money, have a settled job, which is a school dropout who will teach you about money, who will teach you about learning more and more of education, not working for money but to money work for you. Sounds like movie plot, right? But this was Robert Kiyosaki's life. So he had two father, a father of his own biological father and other was his kids, which he used to call poor dad, and other was his friend's father, which he used to call his rich dad because he used to work with him. In short, this book isn't about choosing between dad, but it's about choosing between the two mindset, the scarcity versus the abundance. So which one are you? You might just find out right now. The lessons that blew my mind. So let's talk about the top 3 lessons which I personally get to learn from this particular book. Was that the game is rigged but you can win. The poor dad used to wish to work for money, but the rich dad, okay, so the poor dad believed in working hard while the rich dad believed in working hard. So what makes that different? The secret was that understand the rules of money, then you can be a great player and be playing. Second is that assets versus liability, the ultimate litmus game. Asset is something that puts money in your pocket, but a liability is something that takes out money from your pocket. Here's the kicker, that shiny car which you are driving off is not your asset but your liability until unless you are getting earn something from that particular car. But a small investment that you are investing in your stocks or in your house, if you are someone who are getting a rent from that particular house, then it means your house is an asset. But if you are not, then it's your liability. It can give you a great investment, that's your assets. Third is school teaches you to work for money, but not how money can work for you, and that how rich that has taught Robert Kiyosaki in his entire life. This one hurts, right? But yeah, that's the reality. We are trained to be employee, but Rich Dad has said it very articulately to Robert that how we the employees have been fooled out by the big company, and financial education is the ultimate superpower. Now, what's your biggest liability? My, being honestly speaking, mine was binge shopping. That sucks, right? What's your? You can tell me that what's the biggest liability you have ever been doing since long, or you are just exactly in the particular shoe. Oh my God, this book is a genius, and I was very much surprised with the chapter about the rat race, which says I realized I didn't want to spend my entire life running on a hamster wheel and then getting paid a small amount of that money. That also I will be spending learning and investing my more and more time in building someone else assets in my own particular time. I always wanted the financial freedom, the dream, chase more and get rich by. This book wasn't just about making money but about deciding to take a bold step, and for me that was opening this YouTube channel, that is the Bookish Bubbly. Now I'm here to tell you that it's not too late to start off what you are liking about. Whether you are 18 or 80s, you are on your right position, you are in the right place. And I've been reading books since last 3 to 4 years, but right now I took this courage to give out my own reviews and opinions about my books, the thing which I read it. Now, the other thing is that what makes Rich Dad different from Poor Dad is that, let's imagine the elephant in the room. There are hundreds of financial books out there, but what makes this book stands out till yet is that the Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's not about maths, it's about calculated risk. Also, that you cannot be rich until you are not thinking about from the perspective of how rich people think. That also the thing has this book has taught me. The next is call to action. By the end, you are not just reading, but you are eating something to do something great, like about starting your own business, investing, rethinking, or rebuilding, or starting something new which you have been procrastinating since then, which I was also doing. Spending habit and more, it's the ultimate confident booster. And every time you read this book, you will get something to know about it. I personally, since then last, I read this book twice or thrice, I guess thrice, yeah, though I read it fully, and the third time I read it just the one highlighted part of it. And that makes sense, as you grow day by day, you have that open mind that what the speaker is speaking, and you'll get the more clarity concept of that. If till now this book has fired you up, then there are my three takeaways from this particular book are: first is audit your life, write down your assets, your liability, and be brutally honest what you have been doing since then, and what are the things which are actually is in your progress in your particular life. Start small, it can be anything, a small investment on yourself, your own knowledge, your own business, like it can be anything, trust me. Remember the concept, it's progress is equal to progression. The third is educate yourself as much as you can, from books, from YouTube channels, from Instagram, from social media. The world is a classroom. This book has fired you up, then here are the three tips which will a good start. So small steps lead to big changes. What's your thing and what you have always been wondering of and doing of? Okay, so now the big takeaways from this book is that this book won't make you rich overnight, but trust me, every time you make an investment about after reading this book, it will make you a question about, is this investment is about on my own assets or my own liability. It will make you a force to start your book and make you a courage to question each and every time. And this isn't just a book, it's a magic one, trust me, of your financial beginner. After reading this, trust me, if you have read also, then uh, this book will make you feel that shit, your 15 to 18 years of your school college degree are just nothing about this, is nothing in front of this, and this is just a beginning of our bookish bubbly. Stay tuned, you'll get a more big updates like this. And second book which the second video which I'm thinking to post is will be about my 24 books which I have read, and that just made me curious to giving myself a commitment to read more than 50 books this year. And yes, this is my commitment for ready to explore more such content and changing life, changing your reading habits, exploring with myself, reading with myself, say sharing your journey with myself. Hit that subscribe button, join my bookish public community, a book that will lead you family of book lover. Till then, stay bubbly, stay curious, and remember your next big break is might be a one page just away from you. So thank you for watching me.